I think that we need some clarification because I have had so many people ask me about healing themselves and how they've already healed themselves. They say mantras every day. They have done their goals. They've done their dreams. They've done this. They've done that. They don't cry about it anymore. That kind of shit. Let me explain to you what shadow healing is. Shadow healing. That is the traumatic life experiences that take you to your knees. Whether it was in your childhood, whether you have loss of people in your life, loss of or triggering abandonment, there's all sorts of crap. But for example, if your dad left your mom when you were young, you're probably going to keep attracting men that seem to abandon you and you overgive and stuff like that. The way you know you didn't heal and you haven't healed everything is because you keep attracting in the same crap and you are scared to try again because you're going to attract in the same crap. So then you live in fear. When you've healed, you know that you get a higher perspective and you're not scared because you trust yourself. It has nothing to do with anyone else. There is never any blame. So if we're looking at shadow healing, because everybody has yin and yang energy, masculine and feminine, and shadow healing and shadow work, I help people do their shadow work, the dark shit, the stuff that you hide from people because we were taught to shame it, the stuff that is what you not talk about, the stuff that you bury down and you drink or smoke or all of the things to try and keep that down. The stuff that you put a smile on and just pretend like it's that you've worked through it. Problem is it keeps coming out in other areas. It's like a wound, right? So let's look at it this way. If you had a big gaping gash in your arm, are you going to put a Band-Aid and some Neosporin on it? Right? Or are you going to open that shit up, clean it out completely, might even be painful. You let all of that oozy pus and infection that you had in there, because if it's an infected wound, a Band-Aid is not going to fix it. You clean it out. You have to process those emotions, meaning you're letting yourself cry all over. You're not stopping yourself. You're getting lost in it. You are seeing where your fingerprints are in it. And you know you're not done if you are angry, still blaming someone else, haven't forgiven, or don't want to do it. Any of those things, you haven't done your shadow work. You haven't dug deep and cleaned out your infection. And then it keeps coming back in every area of your life. It doesn't just keep coming back in the area that it was, whether if it's your family, it can come back in your work because you feel like someone's going to abandon you. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like it comes back in all areas. It manifests back. Because whatever we can't feel to heal, it'll still find you. Just like your yard and your mowing, you got to pull the damn root of the weed. Otherwise, you're just mowing over it, right? For the weeds to keep coming back. I don't care how much fertilizer you put down. So no, shadow work is actually, when you are done with shadow work, there is not a single thing someone can say to me that would trigger anything inside me that I haven't already know who I am with, am okay with, have embraced, am authentic in myself with. No one. If somebody wanted to try and shame me and post a picture or something like a nude or whatever, I would probably give them a better one and say, that's a crappy one, but here's a better one. I have no shame attached to any part of what is me. When we have shame attached to parts of ourself, look at it as in our government too. I mean, when we have shame attached to ourself, then we care what other people think. I'm sorry, I want a president that does not care what anyone else thinks, kind of like a parent, you know? They are moving chess pieces because they get to see a bigger picture and they don't give a flying fuck what the kids think. Are you asking your kids permission before, or their input before you tell them to go to bed because it's bedtime, to brush their teeth, to, you know, like not be on the computer all day? No, because you know better. My president, my people that I want in government and that I will fight for to get corruption out until I am dead, is somebody that does not have anything that they aren't willing to live in their authenticity and let fly. Nobody can ever hurt them. That is true power. When there is nothing anyone could say or do or publicize because they are not shameful about any part of themselves, that is power. That is being able to be fully, truly themselves, and nobody can hold something against them to rock their boat. So if you think about that and you think you've done your shadow work, how much stuff do you not want other people to know about you? Are you willing to talk about the nasty, the dirty, the ugly? I don't care what it is, because your story helps somebody else get out of their hell. If you got raped, if you got molested, if you lost a spouse, it doesn't matter what it is. If you can't talk about it and see how it grew you into a better person to be able to help somebody else stand up and do the same, you have not healed your shit. That means you are hiding pieces of yourself, your authentic self, and you will never be truly happy, and you will keep self-sabotaging everything that you actually want, and you will stay in hell. So I had that question a few times, and I was like, oh my goodness, everybody thinks that healing is like the fluffy, white, happy stuff, you know, like mantras and, you know, like saying your stuff every day and all of this crap. No, you still gotta open the wound first, and then you can put a Band-Aid on it. You can't put a Band-Aid on an infection. You gotta heal the infection first. Otherwise, the infection just ate everything that you've been wasting your time on. And people still have power over you because you care what they think. I know who I am. No one can tell me any different. I'm not going to fluctuate, be scared of, or do anything differently than I would for myself, because you have to learn to love yourself. And if you can't do your shadow work, you can't love yourself, because you're hiding those pieces and thinking that burying it and hiding it is you actually moving on and you dealt with it. No, it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back every year, keeps coming back when a song hits you and you start bawling. It keeps coming back to sabotage your relationships or keep you in the same kind. I don't know. We were taught wrong. We were taught to not bring up those ugly pieces, which is why we shame them. So know that none of your shadow was ever meant to be shamed. We were supposed to love and embrace all of our pieces. If we don't, who's going to? And how are you going to be able to teach someone to love them when you're the mirror? So however you feel about something in yourself and knowing what you deserve, if you feel shameful and all of that attached to any of that, that is exactly what you are going to have mirror back at you in a relationship, in a job, in a friendship, in any of it. So don't do that. Take your power back, God damn it. Take your power back. Nobody has power over you in jealousy, in words they say, in guilt and shame, and any of it. If you've dug into all of it and you're okay with it, you're not triggered. You don't get jealous. You aren't scared and living in fear, because fear is false evidence appearing real. You're scared of something that's never going to happen or most likely won't happen, and that's how you're navigating your life. Choose to live your life instead. but you got to heal your infection. You got to take the right antibiotics. You've got to dig into that wound and clean it out. You've got to address and know exactly what infection you have so that you know how to heal it and what antibiotics you need. It's all the same shit when you're doing with your shadow. You need to know what part is